Hey everyone, Chris here, the Under Park Viking, and welcome to this part 2 of the series of videos on the Cobra Speedzone irons. As I said in the last video, I took the clubs out and about, first to the Tilgate Forest Golf Centre in Crawley, and second to the driving range yesterday, which meant that Storm Dennis had its own part to play in the endeavour. Before we get going though, there's one thing that I'd really like to make clear, and that is that there is no sponsorship attached to this video. The irons are irons that I bought myself with my own money, and as such I probably am going to be a little bit biased. However, hopefully if you're looking to make a purchasing decision at the moment, this might give you some extra guidance outside of the Golf Pro or your own internet research. For example, I tested the TaylorMade Sim and the Callaway Mavericks alongside the Cobras, and I felt the Cobras are the best fit for me, but that's not necessarily the same for you. So if you are trying out clubs, let me know in the comments below, first of all, what you're trying out and what your thoughts are. And second of all, don't base your choice simply on a YouTube video, whether it be me or anybody else who has millions more subscribers than I do. So for the next 8 minutes or so, sit back, relax, and enjoy me on the course with the Cobra King Speedzone SZ irons. And let me tell you, they were a joy. See you in a minute.
So you join me down here at the Tilgate Golf Centre in Crawley on a very bright but cold Saturday afternoon. I've just hit the first tee shot of 9 holes here. And it's actually gone quite well. So I thought I'd spooned it, but it's gone straight down the middle. And it is really lovely here. There we go. It's a nice forest golf centre. I haven't actually played it before. I've been to their driving range a few times. It's got a top tracer, that's nice and fun. And here is the ball, and that has plugged right in there. I think I better clean it up a bit. And so we are on the second here at the Tilgate Golf Centre, and this is a 177 yard par 3. Given how strong these clubs are and given the work that I've been doing in the swing, I'm going to go for a 6 iron on this one, and we are going to be heading in that general direction. So first tee shot with these wonderful, so far, Cobra King Speedzone irons. Here on the third here at Tilgate. It's a lovely day. It's been going quite well so far. Here is the result of the drive I just hit. And I don't mind telling you, I've absolutely creamed that. But that means that I now am heading over there, just sort of in the direction of that kind of pylon. There's a couple of people playing at the moment. So I'm just going to take a little break, choose my club. I think this is probably an 8 or a 9, and yeah, I'll catch up with you in a minute. Okay, that was a bad shot, but that was golfer, not golf club. Let's be really honest about that. For the first time in my golfing career then, I took the sensible shot. I was in those bushes over there, and instead of trying to lift it out over them, which is impossible, I've just chipped the fairway, gone I'd say about 100 yards, something like that. Venison for tea tonight. Right then, so let's check in after 4 holes with the Speedzone irons. When I bought these things, it was sort of like I immediately knew that they were right for me, you know, as soon as I picked them up and put them in my hand. Because, you know, I am not the world's best golfer, and I do need some assistance in terms of loft and forgiveness and MOI, etc, etc. But of course there is a world of difference between being in a studio and then being outside in the real world playing while people are trying to walk their dogs or while deer are running around beside you. And I have to say that there was a period in my golfing life where I wasn't actually enjoying golf that much anymore because I didn't feel like I was progressing. Now, I know this is day 1 and I've only really played with these things for about an hour now, but it's really giving me increased confidence in my ability. Yeah, my pitching still sucks, and hopefully that can be a subject of the next series of videos, but I really think these were the right choice. And if you like the look of these things, I highly recommend you go and check them out. Just remember that they're really strong. So my average 7-iron is about 160. These are coming up about 170, nearly 180, and that's very meaty for a 7-iron for me. So the long and short of it is that I am yet to find any fault with these, and I'm sure there's going to be bad days when I'm going to bang the clubs when that's actually me or I'm not warmed up enough, but these things are really, really nice, and I'm really proud and really happy to be an owner of the Cobra Speedzone. And hey, you never know. Maybe this time, on hole 5 at Tilgate Forest in Crawley, it might be a hole-in-one. I mean, it won't be, it's 400 yards, but it might be, you never know. Guys, here it is. This is what I've been waiting for. It's a 7-iron shot. Here we are at Tilgate still, hole 6, 149 yards, par 3. What is it Eric Anderslang says? Hole-in-one cam. Can the Cobra Speedzones achieve the unthinkable here today? A hole-in-one for the Under Park Viking. Let's go now to the patented hole-in-one camera.
So there we have it. You join me back inside in the warm, well, as warm as it can be in February in Britain, but that was me out on the course and a little bit on the range there with the Cobra Speedzone irons. So, what's the final analysis really? Well, first, let's talk about feel. Because off the face, these things feel really very forgiving. They feel almost soft, and I don't mean soft in a bad way, because when you get a good strike, you get a really satisfying click, but you do get a certain amount of confidence and belief that comes from having them in your hand. They feel like they're going to push you further and help you develop your game. And I know that that sounds like a bit like it's not a quantifiable way of measuring something, but to be honest with you, this is a purely qualitative experiment, and so in terms of feeling, they feel, I think, really good. And what about the look? Well, when addressing the ball, they look really nice. Now, obviously, I have it a bit closed, and if you've seen the previous video, you'll understand why. But they've got a really nice sort of, it's pathetic really, but they've got a shiny quality, and maybe that's because they're new, but I like the chrome shininess of them, and I also really like the carbon strip. There's a weight saving device, but also I think for the 14-year-old car nut in me, if it's carbon, I'm probably going to be okay with it. But more than that, the milled face is really attractive, and that obviously has a purpose, and also the slightly muscular foot as well is something that I'm a really big fan of. And that brings me to the next part, and that's confidence. Because obviously golf is a confidence-related game, and what these clubs have in their forgiveness is something that's really going to improve your confidence on the ball. What do I mean by that? Well, this is my first ever proper set, if you like, of golf clubs, because what I had before was a beginner's set that came out of a package that cost a couple of £100. So we're talking about a step up in terms of monetary value, but also in terms of my ability as a golfer and my aims in terms of progression. And because these clubs are stronger lofted, and because they've got a bit of weight behind them, and because they are a game improvement iron, everything about them is there to help me as an amateur golfer who wants to get better. And that really is on a case of a couple of hours on a golf course really beginning to pay out already. Because with the package set of clubs, my bad shots were really bad. But with these, my bad shots, while not good, are less bad than they might have been. For example, I've hit a drive off a tee with a 6-iron and it's gone a little right. Probably because my face was a bit open to the path, and that's something that I have to work on. But nonetheless, where it might have bananaed off into the distance before, this time it just kind of described a gentle curve to the right and just fell a little short, but hey, at least it gave me a little chip to the green that I could actually work with. Of course, forgiveness isn't necessarily helped by a golfer's lack of ability, and in terms of me, if you remember earlier in the video when I was playing a bump and run shot, my aim was all over the place. That's something that I've clearly got to work on. But that's not the club, that's the golfer. And once again, these clubs are very forgiving and really do bring out in you a certain sense of self-esteem, which I think is really important. Because as a golfer, when you approach a shot, you want to feel confident about what you're going to do. If you're playing on your own and you're in front of other people, then you want to feel confident that you're going to play a good shot so they don't, I don't know, laugh at you. And truth be told, if they do laugh at you, that's their problem. But, we'll put that aside for 1 minute. Or if you're playing with other people, you don't want to hold them up and you want to be able to say, hey guys, I'm good at this game. What's what I'm going to do now? So self-esteem breeds confidence, and I think that that is something that actually can't be bought. But now let's talk about the real thing, the really important thing, and that is, let's talk about length. Stop laughing at the back. As golfers, you know what I'm talking about. We want to hit it as far and as straight as we possibly can. And that is something that these clubs, as I've alluded to already, really have given me. Like I said, my 7-iron was 150, 160. Now it's pushing 170, 180. My 5-iron, I've not actually measured it out yet, but just by eye, we're looking at 190, 200. And for me, to go 200 yards with an iron is just insane. But if that's going to lend more variation and more creativity to my golf game, then bring it on. Absolutely bring it on. So guys, there's my feelings about the Cobra King Speedzone irons, and yes, obviously it's biased, and yes, it's not much of a review because I own them, but you know, what are you going to do? I'm not having golf manufacturers beating down my door begging me to test their irons for them, although if you want to, you absolutely can. The long and the short of it is that I'm really happy with the purchase, and if you are looking for a new set of game improvement irons, then I think you should absolutely consider these as well as the other things that are available on the market. As always, go and get fit by a golf professional and don't rush the decision. Try things out. Don't be afraid to walk out the shop and go somewhere else if you don't feel like you're getting the service that you need. And also, just make sure that you get the thing that is right for you, whether that be a different shaft or the face is fitted differently, whatever. Right then gang, that's it from me. So, the end of this video, the end of my first 2 YouTube videos, and I hope you've enjoyed spending time with me as much as I've enjoyed making them, although to be honest the editing process is a bit of a pig, but you know, that's the name of the game. It's Sunday night here, so whenever you're watching this, whether it's on Sunday night or in the future, I hope you're having a great time and your golf is going really well, and hey, cheers, see you soon.